those. I will. But don't make me do grab his legs. Good morning, and welcome to 20 minutes of my life I will never get back. These chickens have absolutely no interest in snacks, in fresh feed, nothing. And I had an issue with my app for the coop door, that it updated and it wiped out all my settings, so I couldn't reprogram it to not open this morning. And of course, as soon as the sun came up, they were out, and there's no getting them back. So we are putting everything away, and we're going to wait and try again tomorrow morning. I did get the door programmed, so now it will not open in the morning. So it'll be a lot easier to pick them off one by one in the morning, trim their feathers, and just put them in the run, and then they won't be getting out anymore. At least I've got the run shortened and electrified. I've got to trim around the edges, because I think that was part of the issue, is the grass had grown so much into the fence that it wasn't shocking them as much, which made it very hard to catch the girl who decided to try and go through the mesh yesterday. And she was getting shocked, and I was getting shocked trying to pull her out. So the fence is working much better now. So it's a beautiful day, but it's only going to get colder as the day goes on. So I may try and get some fencing done this afternoon. But we hopefully have an event tonight. So I'm not sure how much I'll get done today, but I will take you with me for whatever we do. Been blowing something fierce all afternoon, and I realized it had gotten very quiet. So I came out and took a little peek, and sure enough, all the chickens had gone into the coop. So I just shut the coop door. So we've got them all trapped in the coop, and we're just going to pull them out one by one, clip their wings, and throw them in the run. And once everybody's been clipped, we'll open the coop back up, and they're good to go. morning. Welcome back to the farm. It is cold and it is early, but daylight savings time has struck and I now have maybe half an hour, 45 minutes in the morning. I have my lunch hour and maybe an hour after work to get anything done because the sun comes up at 6:39 this morning and is setting at, I think it was 4:45. So a really stupid hour of the evening. So I've lost all of my work time. Now the nice thing is I don't have a lot of outdoor work left to do, but I do have one big job that I've been putting off for a very long time. Today is very cold. Tomorrow is supposed to be warmer. So my big goal today is to get all the supplies I need schlepped up to the upper orchard so I have it in place, and hopefully this afternoon I can get a couple of these fences done. But as long as I have this stuff up there, it's a lot easier to get motivated to get this done. So let's haul this stuff up there and see what time it is when we get done. To get much done, and it's cold, but I got to start getting used to the cold again because it's not going, well, I say it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's supposed to be in the 70s for the next 2 days, so the weather just can't make up its mind. But so I've got the posts and the fencing out here and the driver, the T-post driver. I set up my 7-foot distance from, let's see, there's one and there's the other one, so it's really easy to measure out the fencing so I can cut it quickly. I've got plenty of zip ties in the back of the wagon, and I've got my hand trowel because you can see I started doing some of it here. Some of these trees have a lot of grass growing around them despite all of my precautions. I don't have a whole lot of cardboard to re-cardboard everything, but I'm at least going to bring out a wagon full of mulch and remulch everything. I'll weed it as well as I can and then remulch it so it has some hope for surviving the winter. But it is 7:25 now. I got to get into work. So let's get to it and we'll come back out here at lunchtime and start cutting some of this fence. All right, I'm back out on my lunch break. I've weeded a couple of these trees, and I remembered that I do have one other thing I need to do out here. Over the summer, I ordered these Egyptian walking onion sets that came a couple of weeks ago. And I want to put a couple of these in with each of these trees to hopefully ward off the deer and, more importantly, the voles, because I have seen voles hiding under the mulch here. So I'm just going to stick a couple of these bulbs in each one of these tree areas before I put the mulch down. The nice thing about walking onions is, as the name implies, they self-seed. And so what they'll do is they'll grow up a shoot that'll get a bunch of, they're called bulbils, on the end, and the weight of that will tip the plant over. Those bulbils will touch the ground and root and start growing in the new location. So theoretically, this whole area could get taken over with these walking onions. I don't want to let them do that, but I can use those bulbils just like onions or garlic and cook with them or plant them elsewhere on the property. But in the meantime, the smell of them, garlic, onions, daffodils for some reason, are a deterrent to both deer and voles. So hopefully putting a couple of those on each of these trees is going to be an added protection for the trees over the winter. So it is breezy and cold. You can see it's a wonderful blue sky day today. But I need to get some done. If I only get 2 or 3 of these done today, that's fine. Tomorrow's supposed to be a much nicer day. And we'll just keep plugging along until we get them all done this week. Alright, so I'm about half done. I got 4 finished, the wire cut for 1 more, and then I've got to do 3 others. I kind of went overboard with these. These are 5-foot high fences, which cost me an arm and a leg. But especially with these trees out here where I don't have eyes on them all the time. I just wanted to make sure they had enough protection at the top so that the deer couldn't just stick their head over the top and bite the tips off, because that'll stunt the growth of the trees. Trees grow from the tips, so if you cut the tip of the tallest branch, which you might be able to see, looks like has happened to this one, this is not going to grow up from here anymore, but it does have buds a little further down. So those will become, let me see, there you go. So those will become the growth tips. And this one in particular, I think I'm going to have to come out with some kind of cordage or something and tie it back to that post so that it grows a little straighter instead of trying to grow through the wire. But that'll be an adjustment for later, because I also will want to put some kind of tubing or something on it so that the string doesn't cut into the bark of the tree and do damage. And these will keep the deer out. They will not keep the voles out. If I wanted to do that, I'd need to take 1/4-inch hardware cloth, like maybe a foot off the ground all the way around here. And depending on how this winter goes, I may do that for next year. But we're just going to wait and see what the year brings, learn my lessons, and go from there. I've got to head back into work. We'll come back out and see if we can knock the rest of these out this afternoon. So it looks like we got a little rain while I was inside. And from the looks of the sky, it may do that again. So I am going to limit myself to putting this last fence up and weeding those last 3 trees and getting this compost down, because I'm almost out of wire. So I'm going to need the wagon to bring the other roll of wire out. So I'm going to work fast and we'll see how much we can get done quick. much as I wanted to get done, but it is starting to drizzle a little bit, so I do need to get back down to the house. But I'm definitely pleased with how this is looking now, and as usual, it would have been an easy job to do months ago if I had just gotten around to it. So the ADHD lament is always just doing stuff that's easy to do, but there's no motivation to do it. I've got to get back to the house. Sun's about to set. It's 4 o'clock now, so I've got about 45 minutes till sunset. But I also have to get into town. It's ceramics night. It's the last night of this session. Next session starts 2 days a week, next week, but just until Christmas. So I will try and get back out here tomorrow and finish this. If not, we'll finish it Wednesday, and I hope you come back and see what else we do. Have a good night, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome back to the farm. By the time you see this, we'll be long past Election Day. But I hope that however you feel about the results, you have looked at a way to help make the process better next time. I have a saying that I got from a podcaster that I really enjoy, Justin McElroy, who said, "Tomorrow I'm going to go out into the world and do good, and so are you, and nobody gets to vote on that." So I hope you've gone out into the world and done some good. I went into town this morning, since my sleep schedule is still all thrown off from the time change. Ran to Home Depot because they open at 6 in the morning. Got the extra fence posts that I need, as well as some cinder blocks for another project, and stopped on my way home to vote. And then at lunchtime we went into town, because apparently a common thing in this part of New York, at the very least, is there are all types of community groups doing food sales today. So in Cooperstown, they had a pancake breakfast this morning. We went into town this afternoon. The Arts and Crafts Center was having a pie sale, and I got this magnificent apple and blackberry pie that was still warm from the oven. So I'm very excited to have that for dinner tonight. Josh, the town that Josh is working near, they're having a turkey dinner tonight, so he's going to pick up dinner for us, which we may eat, or we may go to the local fire station that's having a spaghetti dinner to raise money for the local cemetery. So we are eating very well today. I have the supplies I need. Let's get them in the wagon and get up and finish doing the fencing up in the upper orchard and see what we can get done here on the lower orchard. those all done in about 20 minutes. So I do need to come back out with some twine. I've got a couple of them. This is my Macintosh, and it's leaning into the fence there. This, I think, is one of my cherry trees, and the branches are already so wide that they're pushing against the edges of the 7-foot fence. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I do have a couple of these other trees that also need a little tying up. So I'll come back out in the next few days and do that. Let's be honest, it'll probably be a couple of weeks. I do have the 3 apple trees in the front orchard that also need this taller fence. So I think while I have the stakes in the ground here, I'm just going to cut the wire now and take those down and get them set up tonight. But I'm losing daylight fast, so I don't think I'll have a chance to do the grapes and the blueberries with the shorter fence. But tomorrow is also supposed to be a beautiful day, so we'll come back out tomorrow and do those. So let's get this fencing cut and get down to the lower orchard.